This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Today marks the peak of the hurricane season, and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, is urging Bahamians and residents to be prepared during this time. With the Department of Meteorology in the last few days reporting the latest weather systems, Tropical Storm Paulette and Tropical Storm Renee, which formed on September 7th, Director of the Bahamas Department of Meteorology, Trevor Basden, says from mid-August through mid-October, activity increases, with September 10th being the statistical peak of the hurricane season. The department's latest update on Tropical Storm Renee indicates that it's expected to become a hurricane by Saturday. That tropical storm is 800 miles west-northwest of the Cabo Verde Islands and is moving towards the west-northwest near 12 miles per hour. In mid-August, the Bahama Islands were in the path of Tropical Storm Laura, which later became a major hurricane, and luckily the Bahamas was spared. However, Hurricane Isaias moved through the islands during the last 2 days of July and the first 2 days of August as a Category 1 storm. Director of NEMA, Captain Stephen Russell, noted that the Atlantic Basin has been very active and says while the peak period of the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season heightens concerns as the world, particularly the region, is also dealing with the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, says the National Disaster Consultative Committee remain in a state of readiness should a storm threaten the country. Mr. Basden, on the other hand, assures that local Met experts are closely monitoring the tropics and says no matter whether it's before peak season, during peak season, or after peak season, be assured that the Bahamas Department of Meteorology will monitor the Atlantic Basin and inform the Bahamian people of its tropical cyclone status. In news from the court, the family of Patrick Roll Jr., one of the country's latest homicide victims, gathered outside the Nassau Street Court today, snarling derogatory terms as 34-year-old Charles St. Lou, also known as Elmo, was escorted into the courthouse to stand before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt on one count of murder. The specifics are, according to police, that shortly after 8 p.m. on the 5th of September, officers received reports from a concerned citizen that a homicide may have happened in the area of Blyden Road off Bacardi Road. Acting on information shortly after midnight on September 6th, officers were led to a track road off Bacardi Road where the body of an adult male was discovered wrapped in a blue sheet. The documents identified the victim as Patrick Roll Jr. St. Lou was represented by Tonique Williams, who told the court that her client was forced into the ID parade room by officers attached to the Central Investigation Division without his lawyer being present. St. Lou was not allowed to enter a plea. He was denied bail and returns to court for presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment on December 8th. In the meantime, the Chief Magistrate remanded him to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Leno Bahamas is marking its 10th anniversary doing its part as corporate citizens, donating $60,000 in tablets, kicking off a national campaign, a national effort to put a device in every child's hand. According to Leno founder and CEO Sean K. Longley, the company has identified some 36,000 students who are in need of an electronic device for their virtual learning.
This is something that we want to do, and we've pledged to be the leader as a national effort to try to put a device in every child's hand. And I know the minister's going to speak about the 33,000. I just can't imagine that. I have 2 children. My daughter's in university. She's home learning. My son is in boarding school. He's doing virtual learning as well, and in class and out. And I can't imagine them without a device. So this is important to me. This is important to the nation.
Minister of Education Jeffrey Lloyd, who was on hand for the presentation of the tablets, expressed the importance of students having the devices during this time, as students have had to transition to virtual learning due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
This is really a signature day for us. It's a great joy and honor that you would have made us one of the beneficiaries of your generosity and kindness. As you indicate, every child in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas today needs a device. It is simply not an option anymore. And as you would have heard us, who would have appeared in the media, there unfortunately are thousands who do not have such a device. And this therefore is going to fill a very important need in our country.
Mr. Longley says that thousands of young people can't be left behind because of the lack of one piece of equipment, and that he encourages everyone to get involved to put a device in a child's hand. Stay with us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.